Hello, it's a new week and I welcome you once again to eBitcoinics TV. We are simplifying the revolution with you. Alhas Mohammed Kamil is my name, your usual host on the show, with my co-host Nawaf. We will bring to you on the show today understanding eBitcoinics or understanding blockchain technology at the banking sector. You are going to enjoy today's session on the eBitcoinics Academy series. Nawaf, welcome to the show.
Thank you, sir.
Okay. Previously, or our last session, we discussed about blockchain technology, and I'm sure viewers just click the URL on the description box to get to watch more about our discussion on our previous session. And we are continuing our discussion today on understanding blockchain technology at this time at the banking sector, which I think all of you love most, and you are going to enjoy this series.
Most definitely.
Yes.
I remember last week we talked about blockchain.
Yes.
And its economic impact.
Yes.
And then based on that, obviously, we are going to have a look at almost all the sectors that we discussed.
Yes.
And I'm very happy we are starting with the banking. So
yes.
as he mentioned, you check out the comment section, we would add a URL to the previous session so that you get to, in case you have missed that one, you are going to have a review on what happened in the previous discussion. So I'm very glad today we are starting with the banking. And right after banking, I'm sure we will tackle the other industries. But I'll be so happy to see us discussing blockchain for the agri sector and the farming so that lots of you out there watching will get to know blockchain is for everybody and not just for the tech guys, not just for those of us that you think we are just tech creators.
And I think even we the teachers.
Yes, of course.
Yes,
education is it's for
yes.
everybody. So we are going to get there.
Yes.
Because blockchain is changing a lot, especially in the educational sector alone.
Yes.
Lots of bad things happening in the educational sector, and even now that COVID, the COVID has made things so redundant for a lot of people. And imagine you have your courses, everything that you're going to do on top of blockchain, and your exams you're going to do for the next couple of months. You know that hey, blockchain can do this. So let's dive in for what we have today.
Yeah, so we want to just know the impact or understanding blockchain at the banking sector.
Well, I once read an article from Harvard, Harvard HBR, Harvard Business Review, and then they said something which is very interesting. That they believe the blockchain will do to the banking sector just like what the internet did to the media sector.
Wow.
Look at today what internet is mentioned, media. What we are doing is media. It's thanks to the internet. You're watching this on YouTube or whatever channel that you're going to watch it. Facebook, Instagram. That is media. But before, it has to be televised. You get that? Today, look at what happened. So they believe blockchain will do similar thing to the banks, especially when it has to do with finance. So how? But does it mean immediately it happens, it's going to kick the banking out of their jobs or whatever? Like there's going to be like no banking, now it's yes, blockchain to everything. No. So there are certain things that if they consider they can apply blockchain technology into, you get that? And then I'm sure by the end of today's session, we are going to really have confident in blockchain. Right now, the first thing that blockchain can really do for the banking sector is help them save money. What is the goal of every bank? To make money.
Yes, to make profits. Yes.
Good. So what if they can reduce cost using blockchain? Now, if you're talking about this, you're looking about how are they trying to achieve that?
Yes.
Now, it will create more survival rate and pave way for larger investment for this banking sector. Now, you are not so sure that your traditional bank is going to be there in the next day or in the next minute because they are not even sure of where their directions are. But once they are going to introduce lots of blockchain related concepts in their banking world, it is going to help them, improve customer everything they handle. Customer database, they don't need to spend money to, build this new algorithm to save database, customer information, customer whatever. Blockchain is an all-in-one thing. Everything can go in there and they won't have to pay to maintain and also even hold this data. So with the blockchain alone, they are looking at saving money big time, and it's projected to believe that I have a document here in my notes. It says the tech industry, the blockchain technology is projected to save banking institutions around 15 to 20 billion dollar in infrastructure cost alone by 2022.
Wow. Wow.
And that is just 2 years from now. Infrastructure costs, you look at how much banks need to establish like a well-standard banking facility, because they cannot be everywhere.
Okay.
Yes, they cannot be everywhere. But with a blockchain, with just one facility, they can be everywhere.
So okay, boss, let me ask you this. Does it mean like the banking sector,
Yes.
like the customers, let's say a bank like let's say Access Bank
Okay.
that we have here in Ghana, is it like if you are building blockchain on top of your bank,
Yeah.
it means that opening branches maybe elsewhere can be limited, since the customers can maybe have access to their telephones and other gadgets
Exactly.
that can be used to access.
Exactly. Now, doing that, you might think it is going to keep some people out of jobs. But no. The thing is that once they do that, it gives them global presence. That's number one.
Okay.
And that is definitely going to save them the cost of trying to establish their presence everywhere they don't even need to be.
Okay.
And then number two, the most important thing that these banks want to consider are what happens between, like, interactions that happens between their intermediaries and then their counterparties. These banks depend on third parties a lot. They have to pay this intermediary to relay this transaction, third party to do this counterparty to do this. But with the blockchain, they are taking care of all of this, because just one system can handle everything. They don't need intermediaries, they don't need counterparties, and that alone, if they are executing something like this with a smart contract on top of the blockchain, it's going to save them so much money. You get that?
Yes.
And then we have faster transactions.
Yes.
That is the number two thing that you need to understand.
Okay.
Now, if they are going to save money or cost by reducing intermediaries, counterparties, third party, it means everything the banking is structured for is going to be fast.
Yes.
Because the moment you, as a customer, working and there is something that needs to be, some check that needs to be done on you, because it's on top of the blockchain technology or a database on top of the blockchain, they already have that.
Yes.
So they won't have to now call this office, confirm that this it's there.
Yeah.
Right.
Yes.
So it will make banking much more faster. We are not saying banking is not fast. It is, of course, fast. It can be fast, it can be slow depending on what service you need.
Yes.
But it can be much more faster. That's why an entire Harvard is saying it will revolutionize banking.
Yes.
So you realize that these banks, one thing you should understand is that financial institutions always adopt, but when they are adopting to things, they adopt in a very slow way, because they have to first make sure they understand what they are adopting, and number two, they are preventing themselves from going out of business.
Yes.
So they have to continue staying relevant in the industry, and to stay relevant, you must adopt and implement technologies that is going to help you stay relevant.
Okay.
And it means compulsorily they will have to do that. Now, if you are reducing costs and your processes are becoming more faster, the banking, everything is becoming so much fast, then we come to improved security.
Wow.
It will make banking much more secured. Banking is going to be so interesting. Nobody can hack your bank account. If you the banking, everything is on the blockchain, nobody can just hack your information and you just go away. No. But if you are careless, users of that particular bank can be hacked, just as we have been always discussing.
Yes. Yes.
Now, security is something that banks always want to pay attention to, and they invest so much into security. It's not just about securing customer information, it's also about securing transactions that are occurring through their ledgers.
Okay.
Transactions that are going, international transfer, local transfer, if the banking is going to issue out account numbers with the blockchain, there is no way you can have a duplicated bank account number. There is no way a customer whose father died 10 years ago and has forgotten about his father's bank account number can come in and he wants to retrieve his father's information with any data or any keyword that is linked to his father's profile through the blockchain. You search and you will not find. There are instances where people have died, they've had so much money in their bank accounts, and their families do not even know that they ever had anything like that. There are instances where you've forgotten about your account number, you walk into these banks, and they can't produce you ever had an account with them. Sometimes it's denial, or sometimes it's whomever you want to meet cannot have access to what you need. And you see, the intermediary comes in. They have to contact someone who will now contact somebody, who will now contact someone again to contact somebody else. You understand the concept of blockchain? So it is in line. It is like, okay, hand in hand, this is what we can do to do that. And we realize that with centralized systems, which obviously we know our banking are a very good example of centralized systems, it gives autonomous control to a single party at a time. So the blockchain is going to decentralize banking. Imagine issuing an entire banking strategy or algorithm on top of a blockchain. You get that? Like it is going to execute commands on its own. I know that this time we are not doing banking transactions. This time we're allowed, they're saying like a smart contracts is dealing with all of this. It's so interesting. Where we've had instances where we've met with banks and after explaining to them what blockchain really is, like, this is good. Yes, they have to, but they have to deny in the eyes of the public that, hey, because right now people need to still save and invest with the banks.
Yes.
If you are going to publicly accept that the blockchain is good and you mention blockchain, it means the currency on top of the blockchain, which is Bitcoin, becomes the people's investment. And no banks would want that. If banks are going to accept blockchain, it means in future you can only buy Bitcoin through the banks. And we are all looking forward to that. And if they are improving their security, the number one key thing that makes a bank is data. So in this scenario, they are going to improve their data quality using the blockchain technology. And that is amazing. But most of these banks exist in more than one place. So they have so much data to deal with.
Okay.
And sometimes because of their existence at more than a place, it makes some individuals who have been put to certain roles or offices to abuse that. Now, what makes people corrupt is the lack of access to information or data by the latter. If everybody can have access to, imagine, let's say, the government, or maybe the government is making a decision at the Parliament House, and that decision is for everybody else in Ghana, and they have to make sure publicly during that decision-making voting process, every Ghanaian is part of the process. And then it has been declared that maybe in 2021, government is going to give every Ghanaian maybe a laptop for being a Ghanaian. Government of Ghana is going to reward you for being a Ghanaian. Do you think at the end of that conversation and the implementation of such a law or such a conversation, an MP or a member of parliament or a minister can go to a group of Ghanaians somewhere and say, hey, I am coming to give to you maybe laptops, so vote for me in my next poll? No. Because as at the time that decision was being made, every Ghanaian was a part of it.
Yes.
So we already know, we are well informed.
Yes.
So corruption, to take care of corruption, you have to make sure people have easy access to information.
Yes.
Cost for contracts, banking contracts, jobs, salaries, all of these, the employees, if you are being hired, you know that, hey, I am going to maybe be a banking clerk, and for every clerk at this banking institution is taking maybe $800 every month. There is no way somebody can say, I am doing you a favor by getting you a job with this my branch, and so for your salary is going to be $600 because everything is there.
Yeah, everything is
They cannot deny it. Now, but however, this thanks to, let me say, blockchain, these institutions are going to get all of this. They can store their information in a manner that it needs to be accessed, and then at the same time, it will also, it can change according to the rules that has been set to change it. For example, what are some of the rules? If an employee who is a clerk works for this institution for more than 2 years, there should be a raise in his salary. I've been working for 4 years, I haven't seen anything. And I don't even know. But if I am well informed, then I know that a system like this exists to put checks on my activities, and whomever is also on top of me in the institution, obviously I can get that. So some of these summarizes what we believe can do. It's a lot more. But if you talk about saving money, faster transaction, security, and you talk about data assurance, you know that you've done everything that these banks really would want to do.
And I think it will even save time.
A lot.
Wow.
A lot.
So I can rely on my bank to do my transactions.
You can do all your banking stuff. You can do customer support. You can do query. You have the structure. It's been executed by smart contracts. Smart contracts are fully robot code algorithm that has been executed. If you do this, 1 + 1 will give you 8. There's no way you can change that.
Wow.
Yes, there's no way you can change that. You want to do deposit your account. Sometimes the bank makes a mistake. You go and do a deposit. Maybe it is 10 cedis, and then maybe you see 1 cedi credit, no 0. If you don't pay attention to it, it happens. It's gone. There are people that they have accounts with certain banks, right? You will be there. Money will hit your account. Let's say a very bulky amount will hit your account. Deposit. The next minute, the money has left, and these banks want you to believe is an error. What if it is a plan something? What if it's somebody that was trying to launder funds through your account and all that? So all of these can only be checked when there is a very vibrant data structure that is dealing or handling with this, and that can only be achieved through blockchain.
Wow.
Yes, that can only be achieved through blockchain. So I'm looking forward to maybe our next conversations about these other sectors, and at the end of the entire blockchain series, you realize that blockchain is rather not fighting existing portfolios of technology or institutions, but it is rather going to help improve them.
Wow. Thank you very much. Now, viewers, this is eBitcoinics TV, and this program is proudly brought to you by eBitcoinics.com. It's a platform you can buy. It's the easiest way, actually, that you can buy your favorite cryptocurrencies in Ghana and in Nigeria. And don't also forget that this program, again, is also supported by still eBitcoinics.com. And you can also book your flights, travel around Ghana here, and then across Africa. And just subscribe to this channel to read more or to get more content on our session. Thank you very much, and see you next time. Bye.